Now students, number 2 item on PIM4 Project 2 revision, and you can see here that this is the revised brief up on Brightspace, so you can access it from there. But we're looking at fixing the datum level of your TDS concrete model to a real world datum. My understanding is that you've been given this in TDS, and adjusting the level on the project base point using the shared datum level tags. Now I'm going to show you how you go back to this one here. So this is best done from an elevation, and I've got my north elevation open here, and again I'm going to click it, make sure it's active, VB on the keyboard, and again into site, and select my project base point and my survey point, and they should pop up, and here they are. Now you'll notice that the project base point is again positioned on grid 1, and if I had opened up the east elevation, you'd see that would be positioned on grid A, so that's handy to know. Now everything is currently at 0, so I'm going over to the, again it is the project base point here is the important one. And what I want to do is I want to be able to select. Now remember that if this is clipped, okay, so the red line going through it, it means it's not clipped, but if it is clipped, which it is at the moment, any changes that I make to the information here will affect the whole of the project. So I'm going to presume that your given level above sea level is it could be 13,500, that's 13.5 meters, and I'll click into that, and what's going to happen here, the whole project is going to shift up. Okay, so that there. Now my elevation is at 13.5, and again this is all, both the north, south, east, west and the elevation are all related back to the survey point, which is set at 0,0, and its elevation is at 0. So that 13.5 is the distance from there to there, and that's why we leave more or less. It's a good rule of thumb to leave the survey point where it is. There are 1 or 2 occasions where you'd need to shift the survey point, but that's a different lesson altogether. Now, how do we reflect this in our elevation tags here? And I can see that these have updated straight away. So I'm going to pick that tag, come over to its properties over here. So all of your tags will have either a project datum or a shared datum. So if I go into project datum, for this one here, you can see that that is back to 0. So that's more or less how we would have started things off. We would have gone from 0, and then that first floor level, if that goes back to project datum, is 2860 or 2800, and the wall plate level is such. So whatever you've got, and you might have, I think you've got 6-7 story buildings here, so you would have those spaced correctly at, I think it's 3.6 to 3.6 and so on like that. But if you want to reflect the real world datum, then what you need to do is you can select one of those, right click it, go select all instances in the view, and then we're going to swap them over from project datum to the shared datum, and these will update, and you are now on your levels reflecting the real world datum here. Another little trick that you can do is to go over to the annotate tab and pick a spot elevation here, and you can try and position that spot elevation like so. And again, the spot elevation has project datum and shared datum, so if you pick on the tag, the spot elevation tag, go into edit type here. It can be a little bit tricky to find, but you've got to scroll down here, and the elevation origin is what you're looking for. So if I swap that over from project base point to the survey point, hit OK, you can see now that this is updated to, again, to real world datum. And where would you use those spot elevations? Perhaps maybe for fixing the head of windows, or for the underside of beams, or something that is a little bit awkward in terms